Who is Robert Baker? Who is this guy? What is going on here? Seems like there's a lot going on. Still with me, Los Angeles attorney Josh Ritter, and joining me, psychotherapist and author and host of Talking Live and the Bite-Sized Podcast, Dr. Robi Ludwig. Dr. Robi, first, let's talk about the gossip. Like, everyone's finding out, including Monica, that, hey, this guy that walks around with the muscles and the shorts, he's in a sex video. Like, that gossip must have spread really quickly at the racquetball club.
That must have been really juicy gossip. And it's there's something sexy when you're talking about a person who creates a sex tape. And it sounds like he paraded machoism or machismo around and, you know, was very appealing. So sometimes people who are criminals, there can be that edgy, charismatic seduction about them. And
who assaulted his stepdaughter, who apparently was under the age of 14. That is young. It's shocking that he's walking around free after doing that. A murderer, a racquetball coach, and a porn star with a lot of confidence. Who is this guy?
Yeah. I don't think he'd be very popular in New York City. I guess he's a type, but this is a man probably who just came from an awful background and is a pedophile and sexually abuses people and has a rage about him. And he may like the game of seducing and manipulating and working whatever his charismatic magic is to get what he wants. So we can see a little bit of a con man picture. This is a man who uses sexuality to manipulate, to get attention, to abuse, and he's a killer. So this is a very dangerous person. And when we look at him this way, it is very possible he could take a vulnerable woman who was unhappy, let's say, in her marriage, and make her feel like the queen of the universe, and that the two of them together could certainly become rich and have a beautiful life together, and that she won him because he's the prize. We could certainly see that kind of scenario. But the bottom line is, this is a woman who is an adult. She makes up her own mind, and she can also make very bad decisions. What disturbed me the most was that this murder was planned so that the daughter would find her own father. And that's unconscionable to me.
All right, Dr. Robi Ludwig, what are your thoughts here about Monica? Is she just playing the field out there? The personal trainer, the muscular racquetball porn star with the shorts?
Well, Monica was married for a long time, and sometimes in long marriages, women can feel either that they married the wrong person, or they're not being recognized, or they feel invisible. And so having an affair is a way to experience oneself differently, to feel like they're attractive and like they matter. But it sounds like Monica was really open to the idea of finding someone new. And we hear that from the personal trainer, and we know that from the affair that she ultimately had.
And what are your thoughts, Dr. Robi, about her finding out before the affair that he's a porn star and then pursuing him? What does that tell us?
Well, maybe Monica liked that. You know, some women have a high sex drive. Maybe that, you know, she felt he was a star and maybe liked that he had that, you know, movie star cachet to him, even though he was in porn. But it sounds like Monica was looking for sex to feel alive, and somehow to be chosen by this man who had the history that he did was complimentary for her.
Let's take a listen now to the racquetball league member who is here testifying about what's going on after Fabio was murdered.
Somewhere around 7 weeks after her husband was murdered, did she ever, she's talking about plans to travel with Robert. Did she tell you that she was involved with him romantically now at this point?
No, she was like, he's so great, he's gonna give me a job, and she was really enthusiastic about it.
Did she seem happy
Yeah, well, she was stressed about the money, but she was excited about her new ventures.
Did the defendant ever, during the pendency of your friendship, tell you that she was involved with Robert Baker?
No, she did not.
So, Josh, how well known was this relationship? Was this really kept on the DL?
No, it doesn't sound like it was at all. It sounds like many people knew what was going on. They went out in public, according to reports. They went on dates with other people. It wasn't something that she was, I mean, it was obviously something she was trying to hide from her husband, but it wasn't something that was so closely kept, guarded, that not other people were finding out about it. But, you know, the thing about this case is that there's obvious evidence of an affair. And I think the prosecution's got abundant evidence that she was having an affair and probably unhappy with her marriage and probably wanted out of her marriage. But there's a big disconnect between that, which unfortunately a lot of couples suffer from, and going as far as actually killing that person. And that's where the prosecution's going to have to connect those dots for jurors. Is this just another story of an unhappy marriage and a woman who's looking for, you know, excitement outside of her marriage? Or is this a person plotting the actual killing of the parents of her own children? And that's, to me, a very large step in between.
Yeah. Let's talk more about that excitement, Dr. Robi Ludwig. And apparently there may be some evidence. He mentioned that they would go on dates with other couples. Apparently some of these dates with other couples involved the old switcherooski.
Mm-hmm.
What is that swinging? What does that tell you about the seriousness of the relationship? Do you think she's in love with this guy, or maybe in love with this new lifestyle?
Well, the lifestyle could have been very exciting, but I actually have worked with swingers in my practice, and it does not mean that they're not committed to each other. I mean, swingers have very specific rules, and sometimes they find it exciting to see their partner with somebody else, and they set up rules so that they know that they're loyal to each other. So being part of the swinging lifestyle doesn't necessarily mean you don't have the right feelings towards your partner. Just some people find it exciting and meet friendships that way and still feel very committed to the person that they're with.
Dr. Robi, always great to have your insight on everything.